Awesome. It looks like we're probably recording at this point. Another Arvada. I'm in Arvada, Ginny. I wonder if we've met. That's so cool. All right, you guys. Well, welcome to Let's Talk. This is the Tuesday night training that we do for Optavia. For this first half an hour, we're going to kind of concentrate on talking about the science behind fat burn and a little bit about exercising and the 5-in-1. Okay, we've got a couple awesome presenters. And by the way, I'm Kelly Montgomery. I'm not Gina and Adam Eccles, but I am super honored to be hosting tonight. I'm from Denver. I have a little bit of a cold, so excuse my nose. My nose is a little bit stuffy still, but and I've been a certified Optavia coach for 2 years, a little over 2 years now. And I found this program through my best friend right after I had had a baby. And I was looking to lose my baby weight. I was a nursing mom, and the weight was just not falling off like it does for other miracle moms who are nursing. I reached out to my coach. I got on plan, the Nursing Moms Plan. If you didn't know, we actually have a Nursing Moms Plan. It worked awesome. I lost my 25 pounds. I was so happy. I fit into all my clothes again. And I became a coach pretty much 2 months, maybe a month even into coaching. I just had so many people reaching out. And so I hopped on board, became a coach, and here I am a little over 2 years later. I actually am a nurse anesthetist. I was an ICU nurse for 13 years, went back to school and got my master's in nurse anesthesia. And that used to be my full-time gig. Now I just do that part-time, PRN, and this Optavia is my full-time gig, and I absolutely love it. So that's just a little bit about me. I'm so happy. Oh, Longmont. Oh my gosh, there's all these Colorado people. Hi, Dale. This is so great. So I'm super happy to see all you guys filing in here. We have a couple really great topics tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Give me just a second. Let me pull something up here first. Awesome. All right, let's minimize that. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and start this great PowerPoint presentation. Okay, our first speaker tonight, well, that's me. I've already introduced myself. I'm Kelly Montgomery. So in case you guys didn't catch that in the beginning, for our first speaker, we have got Calissa Knipe. She is a certified Optavia health coach. I'm just going to find her here, and I might have to stop share to find her so I can unmute her. Give me just a minute. There she is. All right, Calissa. Let's see here. Okay, you are now unmuted.
Okay.
And I am going to pull you up and spotlight you, girl. Hang on. All right, Calissa, can we hear you?
Yes, can you hear me?
We sure can. Let me go ahead and get your video up because I'm not sure your video is showing. Can you see yourself, Calissa?
No, I see gasoline tanks.
Okay, all right. Let me go ahead and figure out how to get you in the spotlight, my dear. You can go ahead and actually start chatting, Calissa.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Calissa Knipe, and I've been on plan. I started in April of last year, so April of 2017. I started at a weight of 264 pounds, and I now weigh around 150. So super exciting. I've lost around 110 to 115 pounds on any given day. I started the plan. Obviously, I was very overweight. I had been overweight for a long time, and I was thinking about weight loss surgery. And thankfully, my friends posted about Optavia on Facebook, and I reached out to them, and this was a game changer that I needed. I wanted something really healthy and balanced, and when I heard them explain this to me, it made sense, which I'm excited to tell y'all about the science, because that's what I love about the program. So I loved the convenience of the program. It was so easy. You just eat what you're given, and it works. And you need to only make one meal a day, so that takes a lot of stress off of meal prepping. And then, of course, the support of having coaches and accountability, that really helped me a lot. And that's actually why I started coaching. As far as what inspired me to coach, it was my own accountability. Having needing to lose over 100 pounds, I knew that I was at a high risk of gaining it back. And so I wanted the accountability of my clients, and that's been a huge game changer for me. But what has surprised me about coaching is how much I love it. I love getting texts from clients and talking to clients and finding out that they're having the same victories that I've experienced. It's just super rewarding. And so that's what kind of got me into coaching. If you have any thought about coaching, it's worth it. Talk to your coach, because it's so awesome. You will love it. Not to mention that it can help you financially. It's been also a game changer in my life in that way. So as far as what we're talking about tonight, we're talking about fat burn. I'm sure all of you are curious about this, because it's what our most popular program is based on, the 5-in-1 program. If you're on that program, it's based on fat burn, and the science behind this is what I love. I'm kind of a nerd in that I love anything that makes scientific sense. It just appeals to my intellect, I guess. So as far as fat burn goes, the most important thing you need to know first is how we fuel our bodies, okay? Fat is not the go-to. That is not what our bodies typically use. If you have the first slide showing, then you've got these 3 gasoline tanks. You'll see glucose at the top. It's the smallest one. It is the glucose that you originally eat. You know, right when you eat, things turn into glucose, and you utilize that for energy. Anything over what your body needs at that moment stores in your body as glycogen. So that's why we have that arrow there going from glucose to glycogen. Glycogen is the storage form of glucose. Glycogen is what eventually turns into fat, okay? So if you are not utilizing your glycogen, your sugar stores fast enough, and you're eating too much, which is the story for many of us, you're going to that glycogen is eventually going to store as fat, okay? Those are the 2 primary fuels that we use. In our society today, we eat plenty of carbs, and we are constantly replenishing our glycogen stores, okay? Now, if you look over there at muscle's kind of off to the side, and the reason for that is it is not a commonly used fuel in our body. Muscle is reserved for starvation mode, okay? When you're in starvation mode, you're not taking in glucose and glycogen, obviously. You're starving. And so your fat is a protective mechanism in your body, okay? When you're in starvation mode, your body actually hangs on to fat, because fat is there for insulation and for protection, okay? So when you are in starvation mode, you're actually going to burn muscle. And that's what happens to a lot of people when they try to diet and they do programs that are not healthy. They actually end up in a form of starvation, and that's why their muscles get saggy and their muscles atrophy. It's because they're in starvation mode, okay? Now let's move to the next slide, and you're going to see a big old gasoline tank filled with fat, okay? So the biggest storage department or compartment we have in our bodies is fat. I mean, and some of us had more than others. I had a whole lot when I started program. If you have all this fat in your body, that is just sitting there waiting to be used as fuel. But it's not accessed very readily, because it's a slow release. It doesn't release quickly like glucose and glycogen do, okay? What happens with our program, our brilliant program that Dr. Anderson helped create, is that they have determined what we need every 2 to 3 hours to fuel our body properly and not store glycogen, okay? So what does that mean? In about 3 to 4 days, it takes the human body to burn through the glycogen that we have stored in our body. The food, the fuelings and the lean and green that we're eating is fueling our body just enough to where we utilize it, but we don't store any glycogen, okay? After about 3 to 4 days, those glycogen stores are depleted. What happens at that point, because we're properly nourished, we are not in a state of starvation, so our muscle is preserved, okay? You are going to move into burning fat. And what happens is that your body trusts you. Your body says, first of all, this girl is feeding me. She's feeding me exactly what I need. She's feeding me every 3 hours. I don't have to question if I'm going to be fed. So I am not in starvation mode. I am properly nourished, and I will then burn fat. So that's where the fat gasoline tank comes in, because we all have this huge tank of fat and we're going to burn it. Okay, now I've had people ask me, how come men don't take in more than women? Or how come somebody that weighs, like I weighed 264 pounds when I started, how can I eat the same amount as someone that weighs 150 pounds and we both, that's all we need? So the reason for that is that everybody uses, when you move into fat burn, you're using fat as the fuel. And we all have different tank sizes of fat. And so there's the fat slide. I see everybody saying, where's the fat slide? There's the fat slide. So we all have different tanks of fat. When I, as a 260 pound person, when I needed more fuel than a 150 pound person, I would take fuel from my fat. That's what fat burning is. And so that's why men don't need more food. Heavier people don't need more food, because we are accessing the fat we already have in our body. I hope that makes sense. Now we're going to move to the balance beam of fat burn slide. And the balance beam is the essence of 5 and 1, y'all. This is it. So when you're on the balance beam of fat burn, you have 2 ways that you can go if you don't stay on it, okay? You have starvation mode and you have storing sugar mode. Starvation mode is where we're going to burn muscle instead of fat. We do not want that. The 5 and 1 program provides 100 grams of protein a day. You're getting plenty of protein to keep your muscle safe as long as you follow the plan. What will put you in starvation mode is if you wait more than 1 hour to eat your first daily fueling. We recommend eating within the first 30 minutes to an hour of waking up. What that does for your body is it teaches you and trains your body that it can trust you. Our bodies want to know that it's, our bodies need to know that it's going to be fed. That's what boosts your metabolism. That's what gets it to trust you, okay? When you feed and fuel your body within an hour of waking up, your metabolism picks up. It knows this girl's going to feed me. I don't have to question, okay? That's going to keep you out of starvation mode. Then one of the other things that keeps you out of that mode is going past 3 hours without fueling. If you go past 3 hours without fueling, the program is designed to be enough fuel for up to 3 hours. So when you stretch it out and you go longer, you're going to risk, falling off the balance beam a bit into starvation mode. And what that's going to do is slow down your fat burn. Obviously, you're going to hang on to it instead. 5 fuelings every 24 hours. So let's say you get to the end of your day, you're exhausted, it's been a long day. Let's say you ate your lean and green at 7 p.m. You've had 4 fuelings prior to that, and it's going to be time for your 5th fueling, but it's not due till 9:30 or 10, but it's 8 o'clock and you're exhausted. If you sense that you're going to fall asleep, let's say you're laying in the recliner and you're about to fall asleep, eat your fueling, because you need all 5 fuelings every 24 hours no matter what. Okay, so it's better to eat it early than to miss it, okay, or else you're going to be in starvation mode. Lean and greens. You hear us harp about weighing your lean and greens. There's a reason for that. We're not just being annoying coaches, okay? The science behind the program is that they have scientifically figured out what you need to stay in fat burn, okay? Now, lean and green. There's 3 categories of lean: lean, leaner, leanest. Be sure to look at your guide and look at which protein you're eating, and you want to make the cooked weight of that protein, okay? And eat all of it. As far as your greens, you need 3 servings of vegetables. It can be the same vegetable or it can be different veggies. It has to be on the vegetable conversion chart. Those are the approved vegetables, okay? That chart is a miracle. That thing's amazing. It takes the measuring cup amount, converts it into a weight for you. So you weigh out 3 servings of vegetables on your food scale and you eat all of it, it's an amazing amount of food. And that is going to keep you in fat burn. If you don't weigh it and you eat too little, our eyeballs are horrible judges of amounts. If you eat too little, you're going to go in starvation mode, okay? Then healthy fats. Healthy fats confuse people for some reason. We see this all the time with clients, that they're a bit confusing. So healthy fats are 100% based on your lean choice. If you have a lean, you need 0 healthy fats. Leaner, you need 1 healthy fat. Leanest, you need 2 healthy fats. Healthy fats are required. If you don't get them, you will go in starvation mode and you will not be in fat burn, okay? Now, Brenna is going to talk in a little bit about cardio exercise, so I'm not going to jump into that, but she's going to talk about how exercise affects the 5-in-1 plan, okay? The other mode that can knock you off the fat burn balance beam is storing sugar mode. Remember I told you we use glycogen. Glycogen is sugar that is stored. If you choose to eat or drink non-approved items, there's a reason they're not approved. It's because they're too high in carbohydrate. And if they're too high in carbohydrate, that's going to become glycogen. You're going to burn that instead of fat. It's going to take you out of fat burn. So it's a choice. I don't even like to say the word cheat because you're making a choice. Everything we do is a choice. It's your choice. But just be aware of what it's going to do. Okay, it's going to slow down your progress. Again, not weighing your lean and green and eating too much. That is going to cause you to store glycogen. You're going to go out of fat burn. The last way that you're going to go out of fat burn is if you eat more than 3 condiments a day or more than 1 optional snack a day, okay? Optional snacks are optional. If you can avoid it, it's only going to keep you on the balance beam better, okay? I would only recommend doing optional snacks if you absolutely need them. Condiments, be very careful with spicing up your fuelings because those can add condiments. It's very easy. They're a slippery slope. So another little warning is the recipes. A lot of the recipes have condiments added. When you start to get more than 3 condiments a day, that's going to add to your glycogen tank. Then you're going to burn glycogen instead of fat. You're going to go out of fat burn. And remember, fat burn's an awesome place to be. The reason we love fat burn is that it's the most efficient weight loss that we have on our program. It's also where people notice increased energy, better sleep, and less hunger in between fuelings. And so those are all wonderful things. So, you know, why would we not want to be in fat burn? So that's how you stay in fat burn. Spices, I see spices. Spices are a condiment. I would say more of the issue is the sodium in most of them. They are going to cause you to retain water. Kelly might be able to expand on that a little bit, but they don't all have carbohydrates, so I can understand your question about that. But I would say the condiments to really, really watch are the sauces and the creams, things like that. Ketchup, mayonnaise, things like that. 4 and 2 is not a fat burn program. The only fat burn program we have is the 5-in-1 plan, okay? And not everyone is safe to do that plan. So definitely talk with your coach about which program is safest for you, okay? Kelly, are there anything else I need to add? I think I'm pretty much done.
Awesome. I thought you did such an awesome job explaining that. Oh my gosh, Calista, that was so helpful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and mute you, girl. The only thing I can say about spices is some of them that, I'm going to stop my share for just a second here. Some of them have some carbs because they have, they're like extra pieces of, you know, lettuce, little things like that. And yes, the salt. And so that's kind of getting caught in the weeds, you know, a little bit. But anyway, okay, let's move on. I want to bring on Brenna. Let me unmute Miss Brenna, and I'm going to mute myself and start screen sharing again, so she can go ahead and talk about exercise and the 5-in-1.
Can you guys see me?
I think you're good to go, Brenna.
Can you see me?
Yeah, I think you're good, Brenna.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Okay. I can't. Oh, there I am. Yay. All right. So, hey guys, thanks for having me on the call. I really appreciate it. I feel very honored to be asked to talk about exercise because it's always been a very avid part of my life. I am a CRNA as well. So, I'm a nurse anesthetist, and health and nutrition has always been something that I've been very passionate about, but also food was something I was very passionate about. And so my husband went to culinary school, and, you know, we kind of ate our way through Portland, give or take, you could say. And we gained a lot of weight, obviously. And I was the type of person that always, you know, utilized exercise as a crutch. And I tried to outrun my fork many a time, and really never had my nutrition completely dialed in. And it came to a point where it just didn't work for me anymore. I was no longer, you know, in my early 20s to be able to do that. And so I was teetering on, you know, being overweight versus, you know, an unhealthy BMI that I didn't want. And we decided to hop on program. We had some good friends that were doing the program, and we got some excellent results. I started 5 and 1, and the first week I lost a great amount of weight. And I was that client that lots of us coaches have that say, I just can't stop exercising. What are you talking about? This is, you know, I don't understand. Like, exercise has been my life. It de-stresses me. You know, this is how I cope. And honestly, 90% of it is diet and 10% of it is exercise. And so after that first week, I was still stubborn, you know, without the, you know, not listening to my coaches. And I went out and I actually started running while I was doing the 5 and 1. And guess what? I didn't lose any weight. I felt horrible during my workouts. I was, you know, burning muscle. I was not in fat burn. I was starving. And I just felt horrible. And so no inches were lost. And I decided to follow the guidance of my coaches, hop on plan and do it correctly and trust the process. And so after doing that second week, I reached my goal, and, you know, then I could start incorporating the exercise that I wanted to incorporate and actually feel good while doing it. And what I've loved about the program is, you know, I didn't have to spend all that time in the gym. I could actually focus my time and learn about my nutrition, which was the whole point of everything. I could spend more time with my family. I could, you know, focus on some self-care and decrease the inflammation in my body, all those important things that I really needed to be doing, and dial that in and not focus solely on this vigorous activity. I felt so good in my body that I knew that it would benefit me down the road, and I could incorporate that exercise again. So 2 to 3 weeks in, I decided, it was probably about 3 weeks in, I decided to start coaching. And first of all, it was because of the accountability. That was a huge deal for me. I knew that coaches are 5 times more likely to be accountable in their own health. And I knew that I was feeling so good, and there were so many friends of mine that had just worked out in the gym for intense hours and not getting the results that they wanted. And I needed to pass that on to my friends and family and people that weren't able to exercise and have chronic health conditions. And so I really dialed in my nutrition. I've always had a passion for helping others as a nurse. And so I just wanted to pass that gift on to others. And believe it or not, it is like financially beautiful. It's a great, so if you're ever considering coaching, by all means, please talk to your coach about it, because it's very rewarding. I have people that thank me. I'm always, you know, getting these beautiful text messages from people or calls about, I had a friend that lost 50 pounds on her 50th birthday just the other day. And there's nothing more rewarding than that, you know, personally. I've joined forces with family members that are coaches and friends, and I love the fact that we're able to just use good old-fashioned nutrition to reach our goals. No supplements, you know, no caffeine, no pills, you know, no medications. This is just good old-fashioned nutrition, and it works. And I'm able to reduce my hours in my job, which is a beautiful thing. So I just love it. That's just why I joined coaching. One thing that really surprised me about coaching was all the friends and family members that I rekindled relationships with, people that were coming out of the woodwork, like, what are you doing? I want to know about this. How are you getting so healthy? And my husband actually lost 40 pounds on plan. And so that has been huge. And then the growing community of support that we have to help everyone and lean on one another. And also that just getting rid of that guilt, feeling like I had to work out all the time. So let's talk, just a little bit about exercise and what that means, because I don't want people to feel like we don't encourage movement. We obviously encourage body movement. We want people to have strength training within, their program. That is very important. Movement and exercise, just 20 minutes of low intensity exercise a day is proven to reduce fatigue in individuals. It's proven to help with blood pressure control and blood sugar levels. It decreases stress. It helps with strength and endurance. There's a huge amount of increased flexibility and balance that can come, from exercise. It's just that we want to look at low to moderate exercise for people on the 5 and 1, and not vigorous cardiac intense exercise. And so what that means is usually about 2 to 3 weeks into plan on 5 and 1, we will start to incorporate more movement. And that can be for the person that, is far from their goal and somebody that has not exercised in quite some time. We want to start slow. We don't want injuries to occur. This is not couch to 5K, because people are going to start to feel good. They're going to start to really want to incorporate more movement, but it's very important that we do start slow. And so that's just so we don't put you into starvation mode, just like what Calissa was saying. There's the whole science behind that is we're trying to get your body used to this caloric load that it's taking now. And then for the people that are exercising consistently prior to starting plan, we still want you to start slow because you're wanting to lose weight and not go into starvation mode. But we say cut the intensity in half the time. So nothing longer than 45 minutes. And a general good rule of thumb is to keep your heart rate below 100 beats per minute. And you can always look at perceived rate of exertion. It's a very subjective measure, but it's something that you can definitely use to kind of guide your exercise routine. So what that looks like is, perceived rate of exertion could be, are you completely out of breath? Are you unable to hold a conversation? Are you breaking out into a huge sweat? Those types of things, we really stress you not to get into those, because that's using more of a vigorous type of intense exercise. We want to look at low to moderate. And so a good way of also measuring it is by looking at your heart rate. And so maximum heart rate is, that a person can have is 220 minus their age. And so a general rule of thumb, like we said, was 100 or less. Low intensity exercise is usually about 50 to 60% of your maximum heart rate. So for somebody like me, that might be around 80 beats per minute. For somebody else, it may be higher or lower, depending. But low intensity exercise could be anything from walking, to stretching, to enjoying a nice yoga class. I do not suggest hot yoga by any means, but a yoga class for stretching and flexibility. Foam rolling, taking your dog. I see somebody, Gina, say take your dog on a walk. That's perfect. I do that every day. Gardening. You could do paddle boarding, just some core work on a paddle board, actually. Getting in a kayak and just paddling around the water is a great way to get outside and do some low intensity exercise. Cleaning, even water aerobics, is something that could be low intensity. And remember that for somebody that possibly has been consistently working out, that could look different for than somebody that has not been working out. It's based on your heart rate levels and endurance level at the time. Another way to think about this for moderate exercise is you could go into a brisk walk. Swimming is a type. Leisurely swimming, doing a mild bike ride where there's no hills, keeping it less than 10 miles per hour, just something simple, just to kind of get your blood flowing, that kind of thing, is great for movement. An easy elliptical workout, something to where you're not sweating, you're able to hold a conversation. I see plenty of people doing this in the gym already, but they don't have their nutrition dialed in. So just do something like that you might have been doing already. Just dial in your nutrition and don't put yourself at risk of going into starvation mode. I hope this helps. Don't be like me and basically, don't listen to your coaches. We want you to get to your goal. We don't want you to go into starvation mode. once you get into transition and maintenance, you're going to be adding in a lot more exercise back into your routine, which is going to feel great. And you're going to add in more muscle mass. And definitely core work is important. Start doing core work in any strength training. But just remember, for all those more muscles that you gain, once you get into maintenance, that's more calories that you get to eat to fuel those muscles. So that's exciting, right? So continue to stay on the 5 and 1, follow our advice, and you're going to feel great for when you get back to your goal and get into the gym. So I hope that helped, guys.
That's totally awesome, Brenna. Thank you so much. That was super informative. I totally think that helped a lot of people out, actually. We totally appreciate everything that you guys did to prepare to help our clients learn a little bit more about fat burn and exercise on the 5 and 1. I hope that makes a lot more sense to everybody. And one last thing, Calissa just wanted to say something real quick that she forgot to say.
Yes,
Go ahead,
I wanted to say one more thing. I saw one question from a lady about whether this low intensity exercise is in fat burn mode. So I guess she was asking, yes, low intensity exercise is what Brenna was saying can be done on the 5 and 1 plan, and you will stay in fat burn. So low intensity exercise. But what I wanted to say really fast is that I started coaching at a weight of 240 pounds, okay? I want every client out there, if you are thinking about coaching in any tiny little part of your brain, not to fall into the trap of I have to be at my goal weight before I can help other people. Because I thought that too, and my coaches were like, no, you don't. You can do it. I started coaching 6 weeks into my journey. I'd only lost 27 pounds. And there has been so much power and amazing relationship built in doing my journey with my clients. It has been so powerful to share my transformation as I've gone along. And I really believe it has helped more people doing it that way. I think people jump on board when they know they're doing it with me. And so please, if you're a client that's not at your goal weight yet, just remember that you don't have to wait. You can help people now and do it with your clients. Okay? It's super rewarding.
She is speaking the truth. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that, Calissa. That's so true. Okay, you guys. So this is the end of our client portion. Okay. So what we're going to do is actually, everybody needs to log off and we all need to log back in order to listen to the coach portion. And clients, by the way, you are more than welcome to join us on that portion as well. We're actually going to be talking about some really cool stuff about emotional intelligence and some soft skills. These are things that can help you in real life too. So anyway, it was great chatting with everybody. I hope you learned a lot and we'll see you next week. All right, bye.